Hey, this is Tony with Salt Strong, and in this video we're going to be talking about some of the best lures to use to avoid pufferfish. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're not going to catch pufferfish on some of these lures, but it will help you out as far as lures getting destroyed, because it really doesn't matter what type of soft plastic you're using. As you can see, I have some soft plastics with different material here. This is our Power Prawn, which is like a TPE material, very tough, very strong. Then you have the Z-Man Elastec material, also very tough, very strong. Then you have like your standard Plastisol, which is like a standard soft plastic material. Now, just to show a demonstration on how easily these lures get destroyed, you know, a pufferfish's mouth and their teeth, it's basically like a razor blade. So if you think about a razor blade, if you put any amount of pressure on that lure, you know, we're just going to do a quick demonstration here and sacrifice some lures, but just to show you, to get the point across how easily these pufferfish can basically tear up your lures. You know, when a pufferfish is following your lure, grabs the tail, it's basically torn apart that easily. And that was a standard, you know, Plastisol type of material. Now, let's go ahead and show a TPE type of material, you know, that very extra tough type of material. Same thing. Bouncing that lure along, pufferfish comes along, bites the tail off, and now you have a shrimp nub. So you can see that material doesn't stand up to pufferfish. Next, Z-Man, Elastec material. You'd think it's very tough. You know, it may stand up a little bit, but same thing will happen. Those razor blade teeth get a hold of that tail, and it comes off. So especially when you go to set the hook, you know, you think you feel a strike, and then you go to set the hook, when you add that extra pressure or tension as that pufferfish is grabbing that lure, now you're definitely going to lose that tail. So when you feel those little pecks, try not to set the hook. When you feel a really good thump, that's going to be a solid fish. That's when you want to set the hook, because like I said, if you go to set the hook on a little you know, peck or a nibble, could be a pufferfish, could be a pinfish, and you're going to lose those tails. So now we have this lure graveyard here, and I hate seeing this. You know, someone will go out and buy a pack of soft plastics, and every cast, one's going to get torn up. Next thing you know, within 30 minutes to an hour of fishing, you've gone through multiple packs of soft plastics, and that's just a waste of money. So what you need to do is find an alternative lure that's going to withstand those pufferfish. And the key is to use a lure that is going to imitate whatever presentation was working with those soft plastics. So if you were catching redfish on, let's say, a paddle tail, obviously this one doesn't have the tail left, but if you were catching fish on a paddle tail, that's pretty much going to be like a slow, steady retrieve, maybe a couple twitches or pauses in between there. That's when I would switch to either a hard plastic twitch bait, such as the Miridine. This is the MR17, the silver green back color, or a gold spoon, because both of these lures can be presented pretty similar to a paddle tail. If you want to go with a really slow presentation, go with the suspending twitch bait, because you can twitch it a couple times and then it will suspend in the water and stay in the strike zone. So if you're finding that a slow presentation was working when you were catching, you know, redfish, trout, snook, whatever species you were going after, go with the twitch bait. And then if you're doing more of a steady, slow retrieve, or maybe even a little bounces in there with your retrieve, I would go with a gold spoon. This is the Aqua Dream 24K color. One of my favorite colors for inshore. Works really well for snook, trout, redfish, and even flounder. So again, these would be my top two lure choices or alternatives. If I was catching fish on paddle tails and then the pufferfish start tearing them up, I would switch to one of these lures based on the type of presentation that was working. Now, the last lure that I like to use as an alternative to pretty much avoid those pufferfish is going to be a bucktail jig. This is probably one of the most universal lures out there. It can be worked fast, it can be worked slow, but you're mainly bouncing it along the bottom. And this would really be good for imitating something like if you were using a jerk shad or an artificial shrimp imitation, which are lures that you would basically be bouncing along the bottom. So this would be very similar to that. Now, you might get a puffer that will start pecking at the hairs or the fibers of the bucktail, but honestly, I've never really had any issues with pufferfish with a bucktail jig. So again, if you find that your soft plastics are constantly being torn up by pufferfish, definitely put them away. Don't waste any more. You're just wasting your money. Switch to a better alternative, something that's going to be more durable, but something that also mimics the presentation of the soft plastic that you were using that was producing for you. And also, if you're in an area with pufferfish and they're just tearing everything up, it's probably a good choice to move to a different spot. Those pufferfish are very aggressive. They'll usually get to the lure or the bait before the other predator fish do, so your best bet is to move to a different spot. So hopefully these tips will help you out if you are having some issues with pufferfish, and if you are interested, we do sell all these lures on our shop page at fishstrong.com. You can get the Miradine or the Miralure MR17. We sell those on our shop page. Spro bucktail jigs, and also the Aqua Dream gold spoons. So again, fishstrong.com, and if you're one of our insider members, keep in mind that you do get up to 20% off the shop page and even sometimes up to 30%, so definitely take advantage of that. If you're not a member, you can still purchase these items, but you're missing out on that really good discount. So be sure to check out the Salt Strong Insider Club at saltstrong.com. If you're new to Salt Strong, just know that we're the best online fishing club in America because we actually guarantee that you'll catch more fish while saving time and also money on the tackle you need. We do this through premium education, our exclusive insider fishing community, and huge discounts on the best tackle for saltwater anglers. To learn more, go to saltstrong.com. Otherwise, we hope to see you again soon.